Hey there, Mary Sheila here with BioYouth Labs, and today we're talking blood pressure. Now, many of you might be here because you purchased our blood pressure supplement, and I hope that it is helping you along with diet and lifestyle changes. So anytime we want to address our health and our body, it is always multi-pronged or holistic. We can't just do one thing. We want to look at all the aspects and facets of our life and put them together as like a puzzle to really affect the whole body, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what blood pressure is, right? Blood pressure refers to the force of blood pushing against the walls of arteries as the heart pumps blood throughout the body, right? It is measured in millimeters of mercury. So that's the mmHg. And it's expressed as two numbers. The systolic pressure is the top number representing the pressure when the heart contracts and pumps blood into the arteries. And then there's the diastolic pressure, and that's the bottom number. And that's representing the pressure when the heart relaxes between beats. So as an example, a blood pressure reading 120/80, right? That means the systolic pressure of 120 and the diastolic pressure is 80. So again, that top number is representing the pressure when the heart contracts and pumps blood into the arteries. So that's the 120. And then the bottom number is representing the pressure when the heart is relaxed between beats. So that number is going to be lower, right? Because there's the pressure and then the relaxation. Blood pressure is typically measured using an inflatable cuff, a pressure gauge, and a stethoscope. We know how that works generally. The cuff is wrapped around the upper part of the arm at heart level. The cuff is inflated to temporarily stop blood flow in the artery. And then the pressure of the cuff is gradually released while listening with a stethoscope placed over the brachial artery of the arm. The first sound heard indicates the systolic pressure, and the disappearance of the sound indicates the diastolic pressure. Modern digital blood pressure monitors will automate this process, making it easier for individuals to monitor their blood pressure at home, right? You can just attach it to something that's going to give you the number rather than having to listen. So why is it so important that we know what our blood pressure is? It's because high blood pressure is called hypertension, and that's a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. There's a lot of different diseases associated with cardiovascular disease, but things like stroke, peripheral artery disease, heart attacks. High blood pressure puts increased strain on the walls of our arteries, leading to damage and narrowing of our blood vessels. And that's called atherosclerosis. That's always a really hard word for me to say. But one thing I want to just say for a moment is that, us human beings, we are 70% water. So the way that our waterways, our blood and our lymph move throughout the body is through our waterways, right? Through our arteries, our blood vessels, our lymph channels. And so if all of those channels become more narrowed as a result of cardiovascular disease, then that means our tissues are not going to get and receive the nutrients that the blood flow is offering, right? And there's going to be more pressure. So that's where we want to really pay attention to this, because even if you think about it, if your blood flow is restricted, your tissues aren't going to get everything that they need. So again, this will restrict blood flow to vital organs and tissues. The other thing is that the heart is going to have to work harder to pump our blood against this higher pressure, which can lead to heart muscle thickening and eventually to heart failure. High blood pressure increases the risk of blood clots, ruptured blood vessels, and reduced blood flow to the brain, contributing to the risk of strokes. And if it's persistent, hypertension can begin to damage the kidneys over time, leading to kidney disease and impaired kidney function. Managing blood pressure through lifestyle modifications such as a healthy diet, regular exercise, stress management, and avoiding tobacco and excessive alcohol is really important. And, even taking a medication can help you to lower your blood pressure. But there's so many things that you could do, right? So if you go to your doctor and they recommend that you take a medication, I'm not here to tell you whether or not to do that, but I'm here to tell you there's a lot of things you can do, and you can monitor your blood pressure. And if you start to bring it down, then you can talk to your doctor and see about reducing your dosage or something like that, right? Like there's a lot that you can do to support the body in helping to manage blood pressure. And in the next video that I share with you all, I'm going to share more about the best foods for blood pressure. So here's the thing. With any of these conditions, blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune, whatever it is, it's like we're all in a sense predisposed if our diet and our lifestyle don't line up to support the body with its normal reactions of what it's going to do. So stay tuned for the next video. Now that you understand what blood pressure is, right? Now you can start to really take the actions with a healthy diet and lifestyle. So stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you soon. And thank you so much for being a part of the BioYouth Labs community.